Thank you for your patience. There we go. All right, we're live. The live chat is off. Everybody's got their camera muted. I'll shut off Mr. Cannon's video. All right, I'm going to put Luke and Jessica Kiefer in a breakdown room.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. And turn off Josh's camera. All right, I've got everybody blanked out. Jessica, you're going to need to hit that button that says join. Can you see it? There we go. Okay, we've got people on the feed. Still no still no Paul Gibson. Deborah, I'm going to defer to you. We've got a lot on our plate here this morning.
So with Mr. Bush, since he was here early,
Yes.
and Mr. Cannon, apparently there was a problem with Mr. Cannon getting to the site to get his competency evaluation done. So now this is the second time that it's been scheduled and we haven't been able to have him get it completed. So we are still in a holding pattern until that evaluation is completed.
Mr. Cannon, are you still living on US 12?
Yes, sir.
What happened? You got turned away once, and then I was hopeful we could get this accomplished.
Judge, I ended up having a seizure that day. We was headed out the door to go to it. It was all set. I had my ride, everything. I ended up having a seizure that day.
All right, has it been reset?
I'm waiting on a date. I know I told my lawyer Bush about it, and then so I'm waiting on a rescheduled date.
All right, Deborah, what do you want me to do?
They all know about it.
My suggestion would be, so that we don't have a problem again, and I'm saying this with all due respect, Mr. Cannon, but if we get a date, I would ask that Mr. Cannon arrange to be in custody so that they can transport him to the evaluation. And then as soon as the evaluation is done, I would consent to him being released again.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have him arrested and then unarrested, and we're just going to have to make
Judge,
sure. Yes.
Oh, sorry about that, but it just came back to me. I think that I go to either Bush's office or something. We do it by video, something like that.
You can do it from Bush's office by video.
Yeah, I'll call him as soon as I get off the phone here. That's what was supposed to be done.
For the competency evaluation?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, John.
Certainly my office is available if that can be worked out. We're always good about having clients here and using one of our spots.
It's going to take weeks to get this back. How about if we set it for your duty week, September 14th?
That's fine, Judge. Thank you.
At 9 a.m. Preliminary examination would be 9/21. That's a long way out. But knowing how things are going at the forensic center, I don't be a bit surprised if So you're gonna do the evaluation. Mr. Bush, will you assist with making sure those appointments are clear?
Yes, I'll contact the Forensic Center also to see if we can pave the way for this.
All right, Mr. Cannon. I'm sorry. The first one you got there, you were at the door, they turned you away because of COVID. I'm not sure what happened with the second one. I think this is the third time we failed to accomplish this.
No, that was the second one.
Was the second one? All right.
Yep.
Well, let's hope the third time is the charm. You stay in contact with your lawyer. Your bond is continued.
Thank you. And what was the date? I'll write it down.
September 14th at 9 a.m.
I would indicate that Mr. Cannon does a particularly good job of trying to stay in touch with my office.
Yes, he does. All right, Mr. Cannon, you're good to go.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, let's remove Mr. Cannon. All right, any luck with Mr. Gibson, Deborah?
No, he has not responded. Mr. Bush, though, his client that's on the phone is one that he has not been able to have contact with.
Mr. Pebble?
Yeah, I'm not sure how you want to handle that because doing a breakout room with a phone is not ideal.
I guess my suggestion would be to just leave it on for an exam. Maybe Mr. Pebler can make arrangements to call my office this morning. I'll have time. I have the whole morning booked off for this. And we could at least have a phone conference and I could get back to Ms. Davis if there's any development.
Yeah, I would like to know before our staff prepares all of the subpoenas and sends them out. So if you could let me know by the end of the day today, if he is going to waive or if you have a settlement offer you'd like me to consider.
Sure. Obviously, hopefully I
Mr.
can talk to
Mr. Pebler, can you hear me?
Yes.
You're charged with delivery of methamphetamine and possession of analogs. Those are serious felony charges. We appointed an attorney to represent you on this, Mr. John Bush. The least you could do is call your lawyer. You show up by phone, no video, and you haven't spoken to your attorney. What's up with that?
It slipped my mind. I don't know. I will talk to him today.
Are you still at 204 Middle Street?
No.
All right, where are you?
1615 South Main.
Is that your dad's place?
Yeah.
Is that Three Rivers, Your Honor?
Yes.
Is there an apartment number on that or anything? Just 1615?
No, it's a house. It's Pebler Automotive. Ken, you don't sound like you're doing too great. I want you to call your lawyer and make an appointment. You're charged with a felony that puts you in jail for 20 years and it slipped your mind. You need to buy a ticket on the Clue Bus and get on it. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I want you to call your lawyer and discuss this with him later today, probably I guess this morning.
Mr. Pebler,
Right.
if he could call me about 10:30 this morning, I would have a full hour available to talk to him.
Your Honor, are there testing
Okay.
provisions on his bond?
Probably.
I would request that he go test today.
Ken, what are you doing these days? Are you working someplace?
Yes, sir.
Where's that?
Hammer Down Construction.
Okay, who owns that one?
Dave Kindig.
Okay,
Well-
good.
He's the boss.
Where are you right now?
At my mom's.
Is that out on M60?
Close to.
Yeah, Man Road there?
No, 6th Avenue.
Oh, okay. Which is 62221 at 1. I want you to go test at the day reporting center after you call your lawyer before noon.
Okay.
Wait a minute, how about at 1 o'clock? I want you to go to DRC and test. It's a condition of your bond that you not use any controlled substance and submit to a test upon demand of any police or probation officers. They want to see what's going on. So after you call your lawyer, I want you to go to DRC and test. And your case
All right.
is set for next week, June 22nd at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, do you have questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're good to go.
Mr. Pebler, I'll wait to talk to you at 10:30 then. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Does that finish, John?
Yes, that completes John. I believe Luke has at least one that I believe is going to plead, Mr. Johnson, potentially Ms.
All right,
Kiefer.
well,
Sure on that one.
Let's find out about Miss Kiefer. Jessica Elizabeth Kiefer is file 211102. Miss Kiefer is charged with possession of methamphetamine. Miss Kiefer, would you take your mask off? You should be okay in there. And maintaining a drug house. Possession of methamphetamine is a felony. It's punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine, I believe, of up to $15,000. Maintaining a drug house is what was known as a high court misdemeanor, punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $2,000. Mr. Luke Nossinger is your attorney. Deborah, what are we doing on this one?
Well, I made an offer.
Yes. The offer, Your Honor, was to a use of methamphetamine. Jessica was very honest on scene when she was interviewed that she had been using. She has no prior drug-related convictions, so she appears eligible for 7411. We're prepared to make an admission to use of methamphetamine this morning.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Bring Mr. George back. Do you understand, Jessica, that if you plead to this misdemeanor charge, the felony charges will be dismissed? Do you understand?
Yes,
You had a trial, you would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. You would have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
yes,
All right. Other than the fact that the felony is being dismissed for a plea to the misdemeanor, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this
no,
or threaten you?
no,
All right, let me find this. The complaint says that this happened in the village of Colon on May 28th.
Constantine, Your Honor.
Well, it says Colon Village in the complaint, but she lives at 1200 South Washington Street, and it's Holly, Cerny, and adjacent area. And so the complaint is wrong. It happened in the village of Constantine. There's a lot of crime in Colon, but this wasn't yet. This was in Constantine. Were you living there at that time?
yes.
How did the cops happen to come to your house?
CPS warrant,
Okay. And did they find some methamphetamine there?
they found residue in a pipe,
Had you been smoking?
yes,
Is CPS still involved?
yes, as far as I know.
All right, I'm gonna have to set this out a bit. I want to get some more information. What do you do, Miss Kiefer,
I am currently a babysitter,
at that address?
no, here in Centerville,
Okay, we'll find out about you, what you're doing, what your background is. You've never had any previous drug conviction?
No,
All right. Have you been testing for CPS?
no. They're not my children.
Okay. If I gave you a test today, how would it turn out?
It would pass.
Okay, good.
I did 9 days in jail. Huh.
Okay, well, let's take a look here and find a date that works for Luke. Luke, are you available Monday, June 28th at 10:30?
At 10:30?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we're going to set this for sentencing on Monday, June 28th. I'm going to know more about the CPS investigation. Also, I want you to go to DRC when you leave here this morning and test.
I currently don't have a vehicle. I walked here from where I'm staying. I don't even know where that.
So you walked here from Centerville?
Yes,
All right, well, we'll try to get a test set up.
okay.
Does the probation department still have testing here at the court?
Not very well, no. All right, Ms. Kiefer, next 28th of June at 10:30, I'll get a police report and CPS info. Are these the same kids you're babysitting for kids and smoking meth? That's
No.
not a plan.
No, these are different children. I just started babysitting last week.
All right, well, we'll explore all that. You're good to go, thank you.
Thank you.
Laura, would you call Paul Gibson, call his office and find out where he is? And see if we can get him in here.
Judge, I also did try calling him with no response.
Oh, well, that's not good. All right, Mr. Williams is here, standing tall. We'll wait a little bit, and I'm expecting what we're going to do is just set this matter for a prelim. So I'm sorry, Vic. Stick around for a bit.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, Deborah, what are we going to do next?
I believe that Mr. Johnson is a plea with Mr. Knopfsinger and Mr. George. Did you speak with Mr. Blair?
Here's Gibson.
While you handle the one with Mr. Gibson and Prosecutor Fitz, I'll just go off and speak with Mr. George and Mr. Knopfsinger.
All right, thank you.
He should be logging in shortly. He had big purposes this morning.
All right.
And there he is.
All right. Now that I mention it, Paul, I think you did tell me that you had a bankruptcy hearing first thing this morning. We couldn't find you. We've got a special prosecutor here. Let me turn Mr. Williams' phone camera on. Mr. Williams, would you unmute your microphone? There you go. This is file 201141. It's entitled People versus Deontay Stephen Williams. Mr. Victor Fitz is here as a special prosecuting attorney, and Assistant Ryan Funk is here also from Cass County. Defendant was charged with misdemeanors. There was a plea offer which was not accepted, and the prosecutor used their discretion to recharge this as a felony, child abuse in the 4th degree, domestic violence, 2 counts of assault and battery.
That's your pilot count that you were gonna do today.
Yes, with poor Jordan. Okay. Mr. Gibson, have you had a chance to discuss that with Mr. Williams?
We had a phone call yesterday, and his cell phone was, the signal wasn't doing that great. So I need to touch base with him again this morning, but I don't know if there's any plea offer from the prosecuting attorney, or if it's just plea to the charge. I don't know.
Victor, what's the status here?
Yeah, we're willing to make an offer, Judge. I'm glad to make it right now in open quarter. If Mr. Gibson would rather me talk to him offline, either way is fine.
Right? Yeah, I guess we should do that off the record if we're on the record.
All right. Let me put Victor and Paul in there. Mr. Williams, you stick around for a minute. Put Mr. Funk in there also.
Thank you, Judge.
Jordan, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Berger? He's apparently at the court, but he was maybe in the hallway on the phone.
Let's see, Gibson, Funk.
I have not. We got this as a conflict case late this week. So we mailed him everything, but we've not talked to him. So
I'm under Jessica K because my phone died.
Okay. Yeah, I see you there, sir. I'm going to change your name.
And I had several different problems with this situation.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you drove here to take care of business. That's always shows good faith. So, Jordan, you're going to need an opportunity to talk to your client?
correct, Your Honor.
All right. Stay right where you are, sir. Okay. We were about to do Kevin Johnson with Luke. Mr. Johnson, could you
There he is.
turn your camera back on? There you go. This is file 211112, People versus Kevin Johnson. Charge is carrying concealed weapon and purchasing a pistol without license. The attorney is Mr. Luke Knopfsinger. Prosecutor Deborah Davis is here. Deborah, what can you tell us about this?
Your Honor, we made an offer and I believe they have accepted it for a use.
Misdemeanor officer?
Yes.
Use of what?
No, I believe we're going to enter a mission to count 2.
Okay.
He did several days in jail. I'm a little unclear of how many days in jail he did, but also
I'm sorry, you're right. Count 2, I was
include-
thinking of the other one.
Also included that is a no further jail recommendation, and we concede that it includes forfeiture of the weapon.
That's correct. So I was thinking of the other case, Luke. Sorry about that. So yes, he would plead to count 2. We would not request further jail, although it is up to the court. And so it's not a condition of the plea necessarily, but it was an offer that we would not ask for further jail time up front.
All right, let's take a look. Mr. Johnson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor, yes.
It's a little hard to see you there with your hoodie up. You look like a Unabomber, but I can see your face. The allegation is that on or about May 30th, that you were carrying a concealed weapon, a pistol, on your person. And count 2 is you failed to get a permit to purchase, carry, or transport. The second count is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of about $100, and it requires forfeiture of the weapon. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Did you hear me go through the rights previously?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Do you understand you have those same rights?
Yes.
All right, so I'm trying to see if I got any other information here. Bond information report. Someone called and said you guys were there and you were known to carry a gun. You had a 9mm semi-automatic handgun under your shirt. That's not a good plan. Handgun did have a magazine inserted. The appearance of being loaded. No ammunition was located. So you had a pistol, but it had no bullets. Even
Yes.
Barney
I just recently purchased that, Your Honor, and I was homeless, so I was in the process of getting it registered. I was waiting for a payment, and I was actually in the county, Centerville, where I was supposed to get it registered at.
Well, I can't tell from what I'm looking at how long you were in jail.
I believe it was 1 week.
Let's see here. You got arrested on
Use my cell.
May 30th and posted bond through bonding or quick bonding on June 4. So you spent 30 to 31 and then 5. You spent 6 days in jail. Anything else I need to know? All right.
No, Your Honor.
Deborah or Luke?
No, Your Honor, I think that lapse in judgment for sure with Mr. Johnson, and he doesn't really have a long history. Let's hope that this was just a momentary blip on the record.
I'd agree, Your Honor. I think 6 days in jail is sufficient.
Six days jail, credit 6. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. You spent 6 days in jail, and we'll call that good. There is a $75 fine, a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. That's $350. You were able to post a surety bond. I'm going to give you some time to pay this. Are you working somewhere now?
No, sir, Your Honor. I just filled out an application for Walmart, so I'm just waiting on to respond back now.
We've got a Bulk Road address. Is that correct?
Yes. I currently don't live there anymore. I was currently homeless, but now I'm back in Kalamazoo with my fiance.
All right, Luke, do you have an address for him?
I do not.
At the time, Your Honor, I was actually trying to get into your shelter in Centerville, Keystone Shelter.
Yeah. Where do you want us to send your mail?
Can you send it to the Batter Creek address, 151 Eastland Drive? That would be my fiance's grandmother's address.
What's the zip?
49015.
All right. The gun is forfeited. You owe $350 by the end of August. If you need more time, contact the court.
Okay.
Work on that. All right. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're good to go.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Gibson and Mr. Fitz are back. Mr. Gibson, do you need to talk to Mr. Williams?
Yes, if I
All
can,
right.
briefly.
Mr. Williams, you need to hit the join button and go into that breakout room with Mr. Knopfinger. I mean, Mr. Gibson. You need to unmute your mic and go into the breakout room. I think he did. All right, Deborah, what have we got before us here?
Your Honor, we're expecting Zachary Salmon to show up to do a waiver on the record with Melissa Halleck. She was in earlier and she texted me, but I haven't seen Mr. Salmon show up. Do you have him somewhere in the waiting room?
No, I don't. I do not.
Okay. Then I believe you said Mr. Hotchkiss might be at the courthouse in the hallway, so we need to wait for the conference room for him.
Yes.
And Your Honor, if I could have a breakout room with Mr. Berger so I could.
Yes,
talk.
thank you, Jordan. I apologize that I couldn't do two at once. And Jordan, I was gonna try to do Mr. Heisma this morning, and I'm not sure whether we can fit that in.
I do have a hearing in probate at 11:30, so.
All right,
I can
let's
do-
see how we do.
Yeah.
What do you have, Luke? Mr. Hotchkiss. Joshua Blair is Tim George. What do we know about him? He's here in the.
We're discussing with Mr. George and Prosecutor Marvin. I think what we're gonna do is just keep it set for prelim at this point. He has another pending misdemeanor that we might be able to package everything together.
All right, Mr. Blair, we never did get his microphone unmuted. Josh, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is file 202046. It's a third-degree arson charge. Mr. Blair does have another misdemeanor case. Timothy George is here as his attorney. They've been discussing the matter with Mr. Marvin, the prosecutor, apparently unable to reach a resolution at this point. Tim, what's your request?
Your Honor, I think Ms. Davis stated it accurately. We've been in discussions yesterday afternoon into this morning. I'm scheduled to speak with Mr. Marvin after we complete this here this morning on some other matters, but we're going to continue the conversation here as well. So I think it would make most sense to just keep this set. I think that we're close, so we just need a little bit more time.
All right. Prelim will be set for June 22nd at 1 p.m. I'll put probable settlement. Mr. Blair, you've done a good job always of checking in a timely manner, and you've been in contact with your lawyer. Are you still on Lover's Lane?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Stay in contact with your lawyer. He's going to continue to discuss this with Mr. Marvin and see if they can work out something that will resolve everything all at once. If it does, fine, we'll do Tuesday at 1. If it does not, you can have a preliminary examination on this arson charge. All right, you're good to go, sir. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And I'll reach out to you, Josh. Oh,
All right.
Jordan, with Mr. Champagne, he is in custody, but I got your email that you were faxing that to the jail. Have we heard anything back on that waiver?
I don't know if it's back yet. I haven't gone up to the front to check, but I'm happy to do that.
Okay, Your Honor, we will accept the waiver on Champagne.
Okay, I don't even have that file in my folder.
Mr. Craig, is he in custody, Luke, or is he on bond?
He's at the Twin County Probation Center.
Gotcha. With that one, Your Honor, we are going to be doing a nollie for that, dismissing it without prejudice. He is on Swift and Sure currently, and this was kind of an in-between case. So if he were to bomb out of Swift and Sure, we would simply just reauthorize.
All right, I'll set that in the settled file.
Thank
I
you.
do have a waiver on Michael Salt from Luke. Thank you, Luke.
I believe that Luke wanted to maybe have bond heard on that one, which
Yeah.
is fine with us. He is in custody though, so it's gonna.
He's in custody, some mental health issues and substance abuse issues. So,
Yeah, I know Mr. Salt, so we need to see him.
yeah,
William Elkins is Luke's. What are we doing with him?
that's going to remain as a preliminary exam as of today.
He's not
is he in
here
custody?
though, correct?
Yeah, but I've been in phone contact with him.
Okay.
Well, he needs to be here.
You want me to have him call in?
Yes, please. Charles Higgins.
He is in custody, but we have been discussing a potential waiver. Luke, do you have any update?
I'll bring him in.
And he would
Richard
like to be heard on bond
All right.
at this point.
We'll have everybody's bond increase hearing set. David Traddles.
He is in custody as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Christopher Champagne, here he is the waiver. All right, sorry, Jordan, I disparaged your name. I had the file here. Well, let's call the jail, see if we can get some customers here.
Your Honor, would it be possible for me to go in a breakout room with Mr. Berger?
It would if Paul wasn't in the other one. Let me see if I can start another one. I should have opened 2. As you know, sometimes Paul's cases take a long time. I apologize. Mr. Berger, just hold tight. I didn't have the presence of mind to try to open 2 rooms. Let me see if I can do that. No, I can't.
Okay, I'll be on standby then. I just, like I said, I have that other hearing.
Yes, I'll get you out of here. I hopefully.
Okay.
Sure. All right, I need. Treadles, Higgins, and Salt.
Deputy Mooney, how may I help you?
Good morning, Deputy Mooney. Judge Middleton calling. We're having a wonderful morning up here, but we need some help from you guys for the in custodies.
Okay.
Could I see David Traddles?
Yep.
Michael Salt?
Mm-hmm.
And Charles Higgins.
Okay. I will get them down. And were you going to see Christopher Champagne then or no?
I'm not sure. Did he sign his waiver yet?
He did.
All right, then I don't need him at this point if you just fax the waiver back.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, those guys are always so helpful. You know, I saw a lot of the corrections guys that that I normally don't see at that little thing for Marty Friday night. I see him, talk to him on the phone. I never see him face to face.
Nice to see everybody in a social setting instead of.
Yeah, they had a fundraiser for one of the deputies is having some medical issues. It was very well attended and very nice event. All right, we're in hurry up and wait mode once again. I wish I'd opened 2 rooms because Paul could take a long time. And
Victor's coming back, so maybe that's a good sign.
Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to Luke Nowsinger. If I can get a chance to talk to him, that'd be great.
Mr. Berger, you got a new lawyer. It's Jordan Yancey, and we're going to make her available to talk to you, but I haven't got a place to.
My children's case. She's my lawyer for my children's case. He's my lawyer for my criminal case.
Well, according to our records, your lawyer is Jordan Yancey.
I was thinking.
For the children's case.
Yes, that one too.
That one too. Now, what did we do with Zachary Solomon's not here. Mr. Hotchkiss is out in the hall. Mr. Berger, when we're finished with you, we got another guy waiting out in the hall. We'll talk to him.
There is a guy out in the hall.
Yeah, he's next.
But I had a problem. My kids were not even in my home. I placed a.
Don't say anything at this point, Devin. I would mute you, but you won't be able to unmute it. So just sit quietly for a moment while we.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No need to apologize. You didn't know.
Miss Halleck is trying to get a hold of Mr. Solomon. She's been in contact with him. She sent him the waiver to sign electronically yesterday and he wasn't able to, so she's in hurry up and wait mode herself.
We do a lot of that. At least Luke can watch him setting up the water carnival over there, so he's got that going for him.
They just set up the merry-go-round. It was something to watch. It really was.
He's got an eye on Main Street, front and back.
Judge, it sounds like I need to move to St. Joe County. I didn't realize how exciting it is over there.
It's pretty.
You're welcome anytime, Vic.
Thanks, Deborah.
We'll show you around.
All right.
Magic Fest. Come to Cole and
Show you all the hot spots. We'll take you to Dad's. Where else do you need to go?
Dairy Bar.
Dairy Bar.
No, that one I haven't heard of yet.
You ever heard of the Dairy Bar? It's about 100 years old.
So now you just get to listen to him chit chat.
Oh, Devin, we can hear everything you're saying.
I'm gonna put it in the waiting room.
I did last year. I went to that the drive-in. Let's see what the old root beer stand or whatever. Or I forgot.
And White Pigeon.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Hadn't seen one of those in a long time.
Well, years ago, Kelly Hostetler owned it. It was Kelly's Root Beer Junction, and it was a fun little place. I don't know. I didn't realize it had reopened.
It was packed when I went there.
Who am I speaking with? Is this you, Mr. Solomon?
Right now?
Yes. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, Elkins.
What's your name?
William Elkins. William Elkins.
Oh, Mr. Elkins, good morning. This is Judge Middleton. Thanks for calling in. We're here with your lawyer, Mr. Nowsinger. I wanted to make sure you were still out there in the world somewhere. Let me get your file. It's my understanding, Mr. Elkins, that you wish to have a preliminary examination in this matter and have testimony taken.
Yeah.
All right. Are you still living with your parents over on East Street?
I am the parent. That's my son, I think you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So you're, Randall. Okay, you're Randy. You work at at Doc?
Yeah.
Metal Technology? Okay, I got you mixed up with your son.
I don't want to do that.
All right. All right, these are some serious charges, interfering with a crime report and domestic violence. Defendant wishes to have a preliminary examination. Are you at work right now?
No, I'm getting ready.
All right, Ms. Davis, the people be prepared to do that?
We will, Your Honor, but just so that the defendant is aware, generally, if there's a preliminary exam held and the testimony is presented, charges could be increased or changed, and there is a potential that we would not have any plea offers in circuit court.
All right, Mr. Elkins. The matter has been continued for a preliminary examination, which would be next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Stay in contact with your lawyer, Mr. Knopfsinger. Keep going to work. I thought this was your son, but it's not, it's you. So, all right, I will see you. That'll be me. If it's a prelim, I'll do it. If it's a plea, I'll do it. But I'll see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Do you have any questions?
I had no information on how to do this today.
Okay.
In my paperwork, do I do the same thing?
Yeah, it'll be by Zoom once again, but we want to do it. You'll either have to go to Mr. Knopfsinger's office, come here, or figure out how to get the whole Zoom camera thing up. But this will be adequate for today's purpose. All right, stay in contact.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now let me bring Mr. Williams in, close the breakout room, get Jordan set up. Sorry, Jordan, I gotta tick the clock for 59 seconds. We've taken an hour and 7 minutes of Cass County's time times 2. Victor, are they having the prosecutors conference this year?
Yes, but it's going to be only by Zoom, which is how we did the midwinter. Next year, we're going to be back on the island.
Okay, I had heard it wasn't going. The district judges conference is supposed to be at Crystal Mountain in August, and I'm not 100% clear about it myself.
I would suspect that's a good call, Judge, because things seem to be progressing in that direction. And we were going to do ours in Lansing, but they canceled that. I think a little bit too soon, in my opinion.
All right. Well, Deontay is back. Oh, there he is. Now, let me get back to
Would it be easier if I wanted to ask a quick question of the prosecutor for me to just call him on the telephone real quick rather than try to do a breakout?
Well, I can do 2 breakout rooms. Jordan's been waiting for 25 minutes for you to finish.
Because I can call him real quick.
All right, well, let me see if I can do this competently. Which every time I try to do more than one room, I get sideways. But let's give it a try. I'm going to assign Victor Fitz and let's try this again. Create 2 rooms. All right, let's try this again. And room 1. is Devon Berger and Jordan Yancey. Did that work, Jordan?
It did for me.
All right, Mr. Berger, hit the join button. All right. Got the jail here. I got a lot going on. Take a deep breath. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
David Traddles.
Good morning, Mr. Traddles. This is Judge Middleton. I'm over here at the courthouse. This is file 2-1-1108. You're David Richard Traddles. And Mr. Traddles, I'm telling you that you're charged with a felony offense of possession of methamphetamine. Let me pull this up. The allegation is that on or about May 29th, you did possess methamphetamine as a second or subsequent offense as a fourth habitual offender, making it punishable by up to life imprisonment. This is the time and date set for a preliminary examination. Luke, what are we going to do here?
Actually, we're going to do something a little unique here, Your Honor. I was hoping to go in a breakout room with Assistant Prosecutor Davis and Mr. Traddles.
All right, well, we'll have to wait a minute. Mr. Traddles, are you still living on South River Road?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Luke, do you have an address for him?
Yes, I do.
Your bond is presently set $10,000 surety bond. I think your attorney wants to address that here in a moment, but right now we've got to wait for the availability of a breakout room.
It's okay. Thank you.
Do you want to switch if there's any other in custodies that are just outside the door there? Maybe you could switch out.
Yeah. Is Mr. Higgins there? Well, we'll just wait. It's a lot of hassle. Just stay where you are for the jail staff. I don't want to make their life any more difficult. We already caused them enough grief.
Well, it's my understanding too that Mr. Traddles has he's committed because of a. We're not asking for a bond reduction. My understanding is that he's committed due to his parole at this point to jail. So he will be transferred to Twin County. So at this point, we're just trying to figure out kind of our options at this point.
All right. Who's your PO, David?
Bobby Joe Newland.
All right. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Don't go away.
Okay.
We still had some arraignments that didn't show up, and I was going to try to call them, but that may be late in the morning.
I think we're still doing pretty decent on time so far, but not gonna.
We're not considering how much we had. I don't know how many prelims are going. The no-shows were Dunson, September Knowles, Reggie Lawrence, and Michael Redmond. And we'll see if we get back to them. So we have Deontay Williams still in the waiting room. Bless his heart. We have Devon Berger, who's in a conference room with Jordan. We have Richard Hotchkiss, who we're waiting to see. Zachary Salmon, who's in the wind somewhere. Charles Higgins and Michael Salt. And Christopher Champagne Room.
I ran track with Mr. Berger. We were on
Did he beat you?
He did. We were
What
on,
did you run?
we ran the worst race there is, the 2-mile relay. He would always beat me, and we would always compare our times, but we'd often also run the 800 open. Yeah.
Well, the 800 Open is a premier race. That's fun to watch. The
Terrible to run.
mile, not so much.
Terrible to run.
They always do the 2 mile last, and so
No, the mile relay was last.
Yes, yeah.
It may have been different when your boys were running, but all through mine, the mile relay was last, and nobody likes to run a 400. I think that is by far the worst race ever.
well, the best race is the 1600 relay, 440s, and that was always exciting to watch. When Alex was in school, they had a lot of really good athletes in that year, which was a long time ago, but they won the MICTA state championship that year. They had pole vaulters and distance runners and shot putters and fast guys. Kyle Shaw won the state championship in the hurdles. Dwayne Buchanan won the shot put state championship. One kid won the pole vault state championship.
You stopped the record, right? It says that our transcriptionist doesn't have to type all this.
They don't have to transcribe who won what, but we're not in a case, but we are live and we're still waiting for something to happen.
Just checking. Poor Laura, or they're typing away.
Yes.
Debbie, did you run track?
I did. I participated. I wasn't great.
I participated, yeah.
My sister was really good. I was not.
Did you field events or what did you do?
No, I mean, I did long jump once in a while. This is aging me, but girls weren't permitted to do pole vault until, gosh, I think I was maybe sophomore, junior when they started, and I did not have the upper body strength to pull that one off. So, and I didn't do high jump or shot put.
There's stuff.
Shot put. Yeah, that was not my forte.
Not your forte?
No, I was, well, obviously it's a small school, but so they're like, you look like a distance runner. Well, it turns out I had asthma and I just thought I was really out of shape all the time, but they would make me run the 2 mile and the mile and the 800.
Punishment.
Yeah, I think it was actually. We all thought it as punishment. But we taught that coach, we would like skip or like run backwards during those 8 laps. And then she just wouldn't put us in it anymore. I mean, I ran the correct way around the track, but you just like run backwards. You have to do something when there's 8 laps to pass the time.
8 laps, yeah.
I know, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, ran cross country too.
I never did cross country.
It was kind of fun.
It looks like it. I guess I never.
Well, Mr. Cannon, we had 2 things. He has an MDOP and he had an R&O, and I don't remember what we did with the R&O. We didn't address it. Well, Jordan is back. Was her. Hello, Jordan.
Hello.
We won't get to Mr. Haesma. You've got other stuff to do. We'll try to get to him today.
Okay, I do have a couple appointments this afternoon, but I'm free between 2 and 3:30.
Jordan, I just got your email about that and bond. I guess it depends. If he's waiving, then I will leave it alone. And
He's
if
going to
he,
waive on the record today.
okay,
I told him that there's stuff under review right now. Nothing's been authorized, so he's aware.
So Mr. Berger's going to waive on the record?
Yes.
Laura, could I have a bind over for Devon Carl Berger? All right, Mr. Berger, welcome back.
No,
Can you hear me?
That's not me.
Who is it? Is this Devon?
No, this is Richard Hotchkiss. He just left.
We need Devon back in the room. I told him we were going on the record to do the waiver.
All right, Mr. Hotchkiss.
Security.
Hi, would you send Berger back in? He made a premature swap.
Is it the guy that just walked out my door?
Yeah, probably. Can you catch him?
No, I don't have Marty here yet. It's just me. He literally is like gone down. He's all the way past the sidewalk towards the front lawn.
All right, thanks.
He does have a use and neglect case set for 11:30 today. So I told him, because he wants to go to CMH right now to get an appointment set up. So I told him to be back at the courthouse by 11:30. So.
All right, we'll come back to him.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Hotchkiss, let me give you a name.
Yeah.
Luke runs track. He could probably run him down.
He's in Three Rivers. That's a long.
No, he's fast.
That's a long run.
He would always beat me, so.
All right, let me rename this guy. Richard H. All right, Mr. Hotchkiss, stay right where you are for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to put the jail, Deborah Davis and Luke Nausinger in a breakout room. If I can, assign to room 1. Jail, room 1. Luke Nausinger, room 1. All right, now we've been waiting a long time. Mr. Williams, would you unmute your microphone? I can't get his video on. Deontay, would you unmute your microphone? Darn it. Mr. Williams. I think I lost him. I can't turn his camera on. And I can't.
My attorney called me.
All right, Deontay, can you hear me? There you are.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Fitz, what's the status here?
Judge, I believe we have a resolution of the case that would have to be effectuated today. The defendant would be pleading guilty to domestic violence under the spouse abuse statute. He would also, as part of that probation, he would have to participate in anger management. Further, as part of the plea agreement, he would be pleading guilty to a disturbing the peace, not the civil infraction, but the misdemeanor. And that's the people's understanding of the resolution, with obviously the other counts being dismissed.
All right, so let me make sure I got this. He's pleading to count 1, domestic violence against
Tara Conklin.
Tara Conklin. The felony charge, child abuse, will be dismissed. 2 counts of assault and battery will be dismissed. He will also plead to disturbing the peace. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're recommending the domestic violence deferral program?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's recap this. They're going to dismiss the felony charge, child abuse in the 4th degree, and 2 counts of assault and battery. You're going to plead to domestic violence under a special statute, which allows me to put you on a probation, and if you successfully complete the probation, charge could be taken off your record. The 2 counts of assault and battery will be dismissed. You'll also plead to disturbing the peace. That's a simple misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That will not be removed from your record. The felony charges would be dismissed, and we can finally get to the point where they can lift the no contact conditions once we do the sentence. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gibson, you confirm the plea agreement?
Yes, I do. And I would just say to Deontay that this is the same thing that we had discussed, but the only change is that he would be also pleading to the disturbing the peace.
All right. Mr. Williams, other than this plea agreement that I've stated here on the record, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No.
Or threaten you?
No.
Do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
There was a trial. You'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Gibson has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wish. If you had a trial, oops, that's the wrong case. You would have the right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. You would also have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Now, this happened more than a year ago over in Burr Oak. Were you living with Tara Conklin at that time?
Yes, yeah, the mother of my child.
She was the mother of your child?
Yeah, she's the mother of my child.
And you got into an argument with her about alleged infidelity?
For the most part.
All right. Tell me what happened.
Her and a friend of hers were drinking, and I arrived home a little bit late, and she asked me to take her friend home, which I took her home. And when I came back, she brought up marriage, and we disagreed. And then she brought up some things about my past. It turned into a verbal altercation. Once we were upstairs, while we were in the midst of an argument, her grandmother, who owns the house we were renting, lives next door to us. But she came in our house and took my daughter while we were arguing. And we didn't know that she had took our daughter until like maybe a little bit after she took her. And so once we noticed, we went to her grandmother's to get my daughter, and her grandmother refused to give us our daughter.
All right, so that would account for disturbing the peace at Grandma's house, but did you push or shove Tara?
No, that's incorrect. I did not push and shove her, and also she also called the courts and told them that that none of that did not happen, and it was a fabrication of the truth because she was pressured by her grandparents.
All right, well, she got so you're not pleading to this? You have to admit that you did an impermissive touching. Says here you grabbed her by the hair and she had a scratch mark on her right collarbone.
Yeah, she said, no, I didn't grab her by the hair. I did not grab her by the hair. What had happened was when she went to leave the house, and I actually grabbed her by the hand and told her to wait for me to come get my daughter because we were going to her grandmother's house. And she said that she wanted to get her by herself. It wasn't by her hair. I grabbed her hand, and she told that. The midst
Victor,
of it, she didn't know what
is that
happened.
acceptable as a factual basis?
Yeah, it sounds like it was a forceful touching against her will, grabbing the hand. So I think technically it suffices. I don't necessarily.
Paul, you accept that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, she was drinking while she was nursing your child?
No.
All right, I don't know where I got that. That's because that's what it says. All right. I'm gonna set this for sentence. I need input under the Crime Victims' Rights Statute from the complaining witness. I know you'd like to get this done sooner rather than later. I have to set it at least 10 days away.
Yeah, this entire year and a half, I haven't been able to see my daughter, and she was a newborn child. I just missed out a lot on my family and whatnot, and I'd like to get back to that as well as continue my career in digital forensics.
All right, Victor, are you available on next Wednesday, June 23rd at 11?
Yes.
The only thing, Your Honor, is I'm scheduled to have that jury trial upstairs next week, starting Tuesday morning. So I don't, if
Which
that
one
goes.
Which one is that?
Lee Parker.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you want to put it out the next week or. Or we could try to do it maybe. Well, I'm trying to think.
No, it's not gonna come up right in the middle of that murder case, as assault with intent to murder case. Wednesday, June 30th. I apologize, Mr. Williams, at 11. Does that work for you, Victor?
Yes, that's fine, Judge.
All right, we need input from the victim and police report. This case has had quite a tortured history. It's been more than a year, and that's regrettable for a number of reasons. We had to get special prosecutor. There were missed dates. There was no consensus. Then it was charged as a felony. All right, June 30th at 11, we will have the complaining witness here, and we'll do the sentence at that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, try not to sneeze here. All right, let's get back to where we were. And Mr. Williams, thank you for your patience both today and in general. I'll see you on the 30th at 11. Stay in contact with your attorney. Mr.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Funk, I'll remove you. Victor Fitz, I'll remove you. Good luck. I'll see you,
Victor.
Weeks.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
And Paul, that finishes your obligations.
Your Honor, would you like me to email the court, or would the court like to email me when Mr. Berger returns?
Yes, thank you, Jordan.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Hotchkiss, the lawyers are in the breakout room talking about some things. I'll be with you shortly.
Okay.
Judge, if you want to close the breakout room to bring them back, that'll give them a few seconds to talk to each other, and I thought that would be enough.
Okay. "29 seconds.
They can talk fast.
Get myself organized here. Let me close all these rooms out.
Did you have enough time to talk then, Luke?
We did just
Under the wire.
perfectly.
All right, Mr. Traddles is back. This is a return to file 211108FY. What are we going to do here?
We're prepared to waive on the record, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Laura, could I have a waiver on David Traddles? Let me pull your case up here, Mr. Traddles. As I told you, the allegation here is that you did possess methamphetamine as a second offender as a fourth habitual offense, which is a felony punishable by up to life imprisonment. You have a right to have a preliminary examination where it must be established that there is probable cause to believe that a crime was committed and probable cause that you did it. Let me read you the language to that. I, David Richard Traddles, understand that I have a right to employ an attorney. I may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. Here's the language. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This will move the matter to the next stage in the proceedings in the circuit court. It'll be set for a status conference. I think there may be some urgency with this. They're moving it along. And your lawyer will be meeting with the prosecutor to see if things can be resolved. Also, there's the issue of your parole and your transfer to Twin County.
And
Do you
we
have
do
any
accept the waiver.
All right, yes, thank you. Bond is $10,000, cash or surety, not posted.
I believe that he had posted it through quick bail bonds is what he had said. Is that not accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that makes maybe eligible to go to Twin Counties. All right, Mr. Traddles, you're good to go. If you'd send in the next customer, we'll deal with them.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Later, Luke.
See ya.
Okay.
Your Honor, on the docket, there was a show cause for Carrie Cannon. Is that anything?
Well, it was, and we didn't deal with it. He had an R&O that he missed. I set it aside because we didn't address it.
Okay. Let's put it as adjourned at this point.
Good morning, sir. Are you Charles Maurice Higgins?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. This is Judge Middleton. I'm over here at the courthouse. Your lawyer, Luke Nossinger, is here with us, and Attorney Deborah Davis from the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
Let me get your case here.
Luke, did you need to speak with him?
Yeah, this morning.
Do you wish to talk to your lawyer?
Do you want to talk about it?
I hear you cut off.
Do you wish to talk to your lawyer?
So do I wish to talk to him?
Yes. Well, Luke, my understanding is we were going to do a waiver of preliminary examination.
No, not for Mr. Higgins.
Oh, what were we going to do with him?
He wants to have his bond assessed.
All right.
Luke, were you able to talk to him about our email this morning, though, regarding that?
I have not.
So at this point, he wishes to have a preliminary examination and have his bond reviewed?
Yes.
All right. Is that correct, Mr. Higgins?
Yeah, I can't really hear you though, man. It's like distorted.
All right, well, let me see. I'll try to speak clearly. Right now, this is called a pre-exam conference. A prelim is set for next week where they would take testimony. Did you hear that?
Yep.
And you wish to have a preliminary examination?
If I can
Talk with
mention,
my attorney.
yeah, could I'm now seeing the email, Debbie.
Okay, I wondered, and if you want to meet with him and I together, if he would like to do that, we could probably arrange that.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Deborah, Luke, and Jill. Mr.
Yeah,
Hotchkiss, go away. We're still working on stuff. All right, I'll put you guys in the breakout room. And you can all break out. All right, we're still on the record here. Let me look at Mr. Higgins. Clear some of this up. Mr. Higgins, we're just hanging out here waiting for the attorneys to come back and we'll address your case again. I mean, Mr. Hotchkiss.
Okay.
Earlier today, I had 3 show causes on Joshua J. Fry with Lodi's bail bonding files 201114OT, 202437OT, and 201146OT. Mr. Fry had failed to appear. There are warrants out for his arrest. Modice Bonding Company stipulated to forfeiture of those bonds. Don't know what happened with John Paul Lewis. Pre-trial. See if it looks. No word from Matt.
If you want to close the breakout room, that should give them enough time to chat.
All right, thank you. All right, there is some light at the end of the tunnel here, although we have a few cases to go. We're maybe running up against lunch at the jail here shortly. 38 seconds. Never heard from Mr. Zachary Salmon.
Well,
Mr. Hodgkins is waiting in the waiting room, so we're going to do him next.
do you want to try a show cause on Salmon? He didn't appear before, but Melissa was here. She had contact with them. If you want to give her 48 hours to find him and sign a waiver, I'm okay with that. I think it's up to you.
Well, I'll send her an email and find out what happened.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we return. Parties go into breakout room.
I think at this point, Your Honor, we're going to leave the preliminary exam on, but we're going to further, between now and Tuesday, we're going to further negotiate.
All right, set for prelim for June 22nd, 21 at 1 p.m. Bond is $75,000. I'm not inclined to reduce it The allegation is he put a gun up to her head. There's a felony firearm charge. I know Sinquest Furlow. She's got a beautiful singing voice. Plus, there's a bunch of other stuff. So do you want to address the bond here today?
No, at this point, no.
All right. Mr. Higgins, the matter will be set for prelim next Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And if it's settled, fine. If it isn't, I'll be here to hear testimony from any of the witnesses regarding what happened that day, which is alleged to be June 1st. All right. Do you have any questions? Mr. Higgins?
No, I was asking for the bond reduction, man. I talked to my attorney about it.
Grant your bond reduction at this point. The allegation is you put a gun up to Sinquez's head and said, "Bitch, I'll kill you," and then strangled her. And you had drugs on your system and you're charged with felony firearm. And so if I was going to do anything with the bond at this point, I'd probably increase it. So let's wait until we hear the prelim and then we can make a decision regarding bond. I'll put decision regarding bond deferred to prelim.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll come talk to you, Charles.
Okay.
All right.
Look, if anything changes, just let me know so that we don't subpoena witnesses he is going to waive, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's take care of they can bring the next person in there, Mr. Higgins. Let's take care of Mr. Hotchkiss. He's been sitting here for a long time. Richard, I'm going to turn your camera back on. Mr. Higgins, you're good to go.
All right.
Good job.
I'm having trouble getting my video to restart, Debbie, once I stop it.
Do you want me to go out to the conference room and see if I can
No.
get it restarted?
But, you know, it's a thing I've been experimenting with, and so far it's not been that successful.
There is like a mouse on the table for Mr. Hotchkiss. If he's familiar with computers, he should be able to click the view or the video button.
All right. Mr. Hotchkiss, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, this is file 211157. There we go. Could you take your hat off, please, and your mask so I can see you? All right. This is a charge of possession of methamphetamine. It's alleged that on or about June 3rd, the defendant did possess methamphetamine here in St. Joe County. What's the status here, Mr. Knopsinger?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr. Hotchkiss, but I have had a chance to talk to Assistant Prosecutor Davis.
All right, well, let's take care of the guy we got at the jail, and then we'll go back to Mr. Hotchkiss. So, Mr. Hotchkiss, did you call your lawyer?
I have no lawyer.
All right, well, we'll set him aside for a minute. Who's there? Who am I speaking with at the jail?
I'm Mike Salt, S-U-L-T.
Mr. Salt, I know you, but I can't see you. The picture's not very big. And anyway, you're Michael Edward Salt, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salt, you were charged with possession of methamphetamine, unlawful imprisonment, assault with a dangerous weapon, and resisting obstructing a police officer. I have here a waiver of preliminary examination, which I have not signed yet. Is that your signature, and are you willing to waive that preliminary examination? Mr. Salt? Is that your signature, and did you waive the right to have a preliminary examination today? All right.
Yes.
Your lawyer wants to talk about the bond. These are very serious charges. Possess, lawful imprisonment, assault with a dangerous weapon. Mr. Knopsinger, what do you want me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Salt has some mental health issues. He also He has some other issues. He has applied for disability. He's awaiting a determination. If released, Your Honor, he would go to his mother and father's house on Milliliter Road in Three Rivers. He doesn't have any children, but he's been a longtime resident, more than 15 years. As I mentioned, he's not employed because he's seeking disability. He has been donating plasma for income. He's relying on others for income. As far as I can tell, he hasn't missed a court hearing. He's been very responsive and respectful to me. I did get an email from Lisa Antonelli indicating that he set up an appointment with CMH. Unfortunately, well, at this point, next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. The only way he can participate in those services is if he is out on bond. At this point, his bond is set at a rate, given his financial situation, that there's no chance that he would be able to post it. I think given the circumstances, I'd ask the court to reduce the bond to something that he would be able to post. In talking with him, he would have to rely on others. If he were to post a cash bond, I don't know what amount would be appropriate, but I do know the allegations are rather severe, but I do also with that recognize that he doesn't have financial ability and that he is seeking out services, which the only way for him to participate is if he is on bond.
Deborah, your position?
Well, I looked at his past. He only has 2 things on his record. Both are pretty heavy duty as far as severity, but they have been, they were several years ago. So the victim in the case, through her family, has had contact with us. She's safe currently. If the court is going to reduce this for the benefit of the defendant being able to go comply with mental health treatment, I would ask simply that it be a condition of the bond that he cooperate and follow the recommendations of CMH or any other mental health treatment that he is in, and that there be testing provisions, because he does have a history of substance use, and it appears that substances were an issue in this situation. With that, I would leave it to the court's discretion.
Okay, Mr. Salt has a number of misdemeanor things here. He also has a felony methamphetamine charge for 2010. Part of his mental health issues would be the fact that he's been using methamphetamine for a dozen or more years. Bond is set by the magistrate in the amount of $75,000 cash or surety. The affidavit indicates he'd been acting quote unquote crazy and living in a camper, held a knife to his girlfriend's throat and threatened to kill her. The caller could hear him in the background threatening to kill her. Had a knife at her throat. She went in the camper. He broke in the window and he could hear, her brother got there to rescue her. He could hear the struggle in the background. He had to break the window open and found the defendant with a knife to his sister's throat, threatening to kill her. He's got mental health problems. He's got methamphetamine problems. He's got nowhere to go. He's got no job, and he almost killed someone. So I'm not inclined to reduce the bond. I would encourage you to continue to work with CMH, but I'm not sure how much of your problems are methamphetamine and how much are mental illness. It's hard to sometimes separate it. But I think the magistrate used good judgment in setting this bond in the amount that he did for the matter of public safety and protection of the public. All right, bond remains as set, $75,000 cash or surety. You're good to go, Mr. Salt. Luke, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with Mr.
Okay.
Hotchkiss. Richard H. and Mike Mausinger.
Oh.
Mr. Hotchkiss, you're gonna need to hit that button that says join. All right, Debbie, I'm gonna do that bond motion. Order.
I'll sign information. So we're just multitasking away over here.
Okay.
I don't got anybody else, if you guys don't.
I think we're done.
Is that all we need? Do we need?
I think that was everybody. Mr. Champagne did a paper waiver.
All right, I guess we're good to
Did you
go.
like
Thanks.
Okay, yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we didn't get to Heisma, but we'll have to address him at some point in this very busy day. All right, I'll release the jail. Somebody else might need that room.
If you can bring Mr. Hotchkiss back in, I don't think he has the ability or know-how, I should say.
Okay, thanks. Let me shut the room. It'll take 60 seconds. We're adding these 60 seconds is up.
Did you ever run track, Judge? Did you ever? I've been thinking about that. Yeah.
No, I did not. I was the manager when I was a freshman. As you know, I was a runner once I got to college. I ran 10 miles a day, but that's been a while.
Oof.
Seems like an awful pastime.
I ran up until my 63rd birthday, and the doctor told me I should quit. So now I ride my bike in the morning like I did this morning. All right, let me finish with Mr. Salt here.
Loan your bike to people without a license or rent it out or something. Luke.
This is the time of year when it's light enough and warm enough to do it.
We don't have many bugs either. They've yet to come on.
Yes. All right, yeah, when it gets real hot, we don't like the deer flies. Mr. Salt is done.
Or the
All
cicada.
right, we return to Mr. Hotchkiss, who's in the conference room here at the courthouse. Let me get that file. Mr. Hotchkiss, you're charged with, well, here's Melissa. Good afternoon, or good morning, Melissa. We're still waiting for Zachary Salmon. Any success?
No, but I do have Sally Powers
She missed a pretrial the other day, and she's willing to.
Where is she?
Somewhere in Three Rivers. She couldn't quite get our Zoom to work for our meeting minutes ago, but I thought if we could try to get her to Zoom in to the court and enter a plea. I talked to her about what the offer was from John Barnes, and she said she would plead guilty. And I explained how to.
If you can get her in here, I'm willing to talk to her.
Okay. I'll have Trina send her a message and let her know. Yeah, Zach Solomon, nothing back yet. Right, Trina?
All right. Well, have you talked to him?
I met with him yesterday afternoon, and he was going to sign a waiver. And he did not sign it. And then I have not heard from him this morning.
I'm going to do a bench warrant with a 48-hour hold.
Okay.
Defendant did not sign waiver.
Okay.
These aren't entered in lien. I was just about to do them, so I'll just give it back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Sarah's all over it. She brought me those files in case we can get Ms. Powers here. All right, defendant Solomon failed to appear, did not sign waiver. Please do bench warrant.
And we just met Powers to sign into court. Did you send her the meeting ID? We sent her the meeting ID directly.
And just to be clear, I don't need to subpoena witnesses or prepare for a prelim on Solomon for next week, correct?
Well, there's a bench warrant for him, so no, you don't.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I watched I had Trina drop off a subpoena and whatever over to Pizza Hut for that Jamila McFerrin.
Yes.
The victim was actually working, and they do not have security at Pizza Hut, but a customer took a video from behind that she actually had posted to Facebook, so she forwarded that to us. So I'm gonna.
All right, well, don't.
Right, yeah,
that's interesting.
I'll share that. Just
all right.
Yeah, send it on to me.
All right, thank you. All right, Melissa will wait for Ms. Powers. Let's go back to Mr. Hotchkiss. He's been waiting for a long time. This is file 211157. Mr. Hotchkiss, it's alleged that on or about June 3rd that you possessed methamphetamine in the city of Three Rivers. Let me see what the deal is. It's alleged to be a second offense, making it a felony punishable by up to 20 years imprisonment. Luke, what's the status here?
Mr. Hotchkiss is going to enter a plea to use of methamphetamine. Unfortunately, he has a 1999 conviction for possession of marijuana, which makes him ineligible for 7411. So we're prepared to make that admission today.
All right, Mr. Court, plea use of meth. Is that correct, Deborah?
That is correct.
All right, Mr. Hotchkiss, possession of methamphetamine is a felony. It's punishable by, in your case, up to 20 years imprisonment. Prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of use of methamphetamine. Use of methamphetamine is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Other than what was said here about reducing the felony for a plea to a misdemeanor, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this charge
No, sir.
or threaten you?
No.
Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? You understand?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Knopfsinger has been appointed to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to. And if you didn't wish to, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, according to this, you've been driving your car around 3 hours with no plates or insurance, and they pulled you over on June 3rd. At that time, had you been using some methamphetamine?
No, it was before that day that they pulled me over. It was the last time I used.
All right, and you had a meth pipe in your possession
Yes, I did.
and a little bit of meth?
Yes.
What's your connection to Three Rivers? What do you have down here?
I work in the Schoolcraft.
All right, well, apparently you live in Portage and work in Schoolcraft?
No, I'm living in White Pigeon
Okay,
and I work in Schoolcraft.
where do you work?
At Marjo's Family Diner downtown.
Okay. I like Marjo's. I haven't been there in 2 years because of COVID, but it's a great breakfast place.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you keep driving through Three Rivers without any insurance? So that's why they pulled you over?
I have insurance and I've got an appointment with Secretary of State. I just got insurance probably 3 days ago.
Okay. Alyssa, I believe she's here. All right. Let's find a place to put this.
Maybe June 28th.
On that day.
June 28th is packed. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences, including some hard ones, and this is a hard one. Are you available June 30th at 11, Luke?
No, I'm not.
And are you gonna get a PSI done or with this one?
No.
You just want the report
Mhm.
or anything?
How about July 7th? Are you available
Yes.
then?
Yes, July 7th.
Do you have the defendant's address?
I do not.
I'll have him give it to you. I'm going to have you give your lawyer your address,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and then you're free to go. July 7th at 11 a.m. Debbie, these aren't your cases. These are ordinance cases with Ms. Powers.
I have one retail fraud with her, but I don't know if she has an attorney yet. We just had her arraigned.
Oh, that with Paul Gibson. You have. Okay, never mind. John Barnes had her on something. So the offer when we had our hearing the other day was plead guilty to disorderly, in my case, dismiss Paul Gibson's file. And I don't think we were aware of a retail fraud. At least I don't remember.
There's dismiss 1035.
Right.
And then there's another case, 1083, which is a retail fraud. So I think she has, Gibson's file was a disorderly, but yeah, she also had a retail fraud, which John didn't know about because he didn't have jurisdiction over it. He just had his 2 disorderly cases. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see how Sally's doing this morning.
Does Sally have an attorney on the retail fraud with the county?
Paul Gibson.
Oh, it is.
All right, Luke, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have
Thanks,
a good
Luke.
evening. We'll see you.
I needed some more stuff to do in here this morning, so this worked out good.
We're buying time till Jordan can get Devin Berger back in here at 11:30. We're somewhere close.
Mr. Solomon's going to show up anytime. I just know it.
Well, all right, I'd rather he did. I still have all the no-shows. Debbie was gonna go over to September Knowles and see if she could get her to show up. Sally, can you hear me?
It says connecting audio on this side, so maybe it's giving.
Yes, it does. She looks like she's staying at a hotel again. She's gonna put her shades on.
It is really hard to see on the screens when you're outside if it's sunny. Impossible. Looks like she's got audio working now. This is muted.
All right, Sally, could you unmute your mic?
It's unmuted.
Yes, good morning.
Good
This
morning.
is Judson. I'm over here at Centerville. Are you Sally Powers?
Yes, sir.
Sally, I've known you for a long time. Your lawyer, Melissa Halleck, is here. You've got 2 cases in the city of Three Rivers. File 21733 alleges a disorderly person at Broadway Market on April 8th. Then you have another disorderly person on April 18th. And the prosecutor is going to dismiss that, the later one. 21733. Sally?
Yes, sir.
Disorderly person is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. What I'm told is you're going to plead to the disorderly person at Broadway Market in the city of Three Rivers from April, and they're going to dismiss the other one that occurred in May. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about that. Did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, just that my other cases will be dismissed.
All right, did anybody threaten you to try to get you to plead?
No, sir.
All right, do you understand that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury, and there will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You got Ms. Halleck here with you today. You also have Mr. Gibson, but his charge is being dismissed. If you had a trial, you would have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you.
Yes, I understand.
All right, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to plead to disturbing the peace in 21633. Dismiss DTP in 211035 per John Barr. All right. Now, Sally, would you put your cigarette down until we're done here? We're in a court
Yeah,
hearing.
it's starting to fire.
Set it
Sorry,
aside.
it was starting to fire.
All right. Were you in Broadway Market last April and there was a disturbance in there?
Yeah. The gentleman working the store said I was disturbing. I don't believe I was. I just told him I wasn't paying $9 for a pack of cigarettes, that I only had 12 or 13 on my card and I wanted to get something to drink. He said, I've been bothering him and I've been bothering him a long time. And all I said was, well, between Dr. Metarada here at Interact in Kalamazoo, I've never met the man before or seen him in my life. You know, so I don't see how. That was my first time being in Broadway Market on Broadway Street in probably 15 years, honestly. So.
Which card are you talking about? You have a debit card from your guardian?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sally, where are you right now? What hotel are you at?
I'm staying at Battle Creek, but right now I'm at 500 North Edwards in Kalamazoo.
All right, is that a hotel or is it something?
No, it's a drop-in clinic for the home. It's a drop-in place for the homeless. I just stopped here. I walked.
Okay, Sally, you just bounce around. Sometimes Sturgis, sometimes Three Rivers, sometimes Portage, sometimes Kalamazoo, sometimes Battle Creek. You have income. You've been a mystery to me since before you got injured. You have an income of quite a bit each month, and you can't seem to find a place to live. You are a puzzle without a solution.
I don't know. That's why I tried to explain to my dad. The gentleman, my license is suspended right now. But like the gentleman won't even let me get, he's only put $600 on my car 2 times in 10 years at one time for me to be able to buy a vehicle. I understand my license is suspended, but when I look up places online or I call places, like I was honest a few times, they asked if I ever been evicted. And in 20 years, I've only ever been evicted one time. And that was after 5 years of staying at Fulton. So I must have been some kind of good tenant because I was there 5 years. Prior to that, I went to prison for 2. Prior to that, I had purchased my home on Piccadilly for 5 years and I owned my own home. Then prior to that, I was court ordered to live with my father from 99 till 2005 is when I had moved out. And then from 16 to 20, I also had lived with my daughter's dad. So it's basically
I wish you had a place to go. You have an income of substantial and you're just floating like a cork on the ocean.
Yeah, I don't like being in these hotels, sir. I'd rather have a home or an apartment. It's about someone approving me for one. I don't mean to interrupt, but that's just like Elaine Strand, the lady, she's a real estate agent in Three Rivers. I tried talking with her just a couple of weeks ago, and she asked me my name, and I told her how I rented from her before. She said, do you have any criminal history? And that's where I still don't learn to be like other people and tell the truth or lie. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to rent to you. And I was like, well, ma'am, I was like, I don't have any open cases. They're closed. And I was like, will you please let me talk
Sally,
to you?
you're not a criminal. You've got mental health issues. You've got trauma issues. You've got brain injury issues. You got substance abuse issues. You're just, as I said, a problem that I haven't been able to solve since before I was judge. you really don't mean harm to anybody. The only one you end up harming is yourself. We had your guardian here with us, or your financial guardian, and he was ready and willing to assist, but you didn't show up. So I'm going to do a $75 bond or fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. I'm going to waive your attorney fee. You owe $200 by July 31. 21. We'll have to give you got money to pay it.
Yes, sir. I know I do. I'm trying to get him to give me more than $100 today. Like I got $200 yesterday, but I had to buy a new phone. That was $110.
Well, he's afraid that when you get a bunch of money, you end up blowing it all, or people steal it from you, or you buy whatever, and then it's a downhill slide. Now, Sally, we have one case left, which is a retail fraud charge that Melissa does not represent you on. That's Miss Davis. Mr. Gibson represents you on that case. I'm going to set that for a attorney pretrial. For July 2nd. That's going to be a very busy day, but I don't want to dump it on Judge Pattison at 9:30 a.m. Do we still have your mailing address?
Yes, my dad's 10909 Southwestern.
All right, we got it. Okay, now I'm going to send you a notice to that. We're going to do it by Zoom once again. You've gotten pretty good at this. You never are a flight risk. You miss your court dates all the time just because of your struggles.
Just because
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
really
ready.
wish with as much income as you had, you could find a place and put down some roots. I'm worried about your safety. I'm worried about
I
your.
know. Well,
All
you
right.
think my dad would get a couple thousand on my money and give me a vehicle? Because like if I find a place that I go there, they're more
Well, you
likely
can't-
going to give me.
You can't drive.
Well, I understand
Anyway,
that it's
Sally,
legal. that-
This takes care of the two disorderly persons. Don't do bench warrants. So that's good. We'll set your other case for July 2nd. All right, Sally, you're good to go. Thank you. Now,
Thank you.
Mr.
Have a
Gibson
happy
is still your
Father's Day.
lawyer, but that finishes Melissa's obligations. I wish I could find an answer to this.
You could adopt me. Because, you know, I drove from 99 when the courts ordered me to be the primary driver for Destiny. I drove from 99 to 2005. And if you look up my history, I might have got pulled over one time. So you get pulled over, you get a chance of doing 93 days in jail. It's still versus better riding with people that go 90, 100 miles an hour or drinking and driving or under something else. You know, that's making my life that's more dangerous than anything. If you look at my driving record, even the courts ordered me to be the primary driver when I was suspended for my daughter. And, you know,
Well,
I
that's
didn't
been
have to
a
get pulled over then.
long time ago. All right, Sally, I'll see you on July 2nd at 9:30 by Zoom on this same number.
Okay.
All
You have a
right.
happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
All
so
right.
did you recall the bench warrant then?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just wanted to make clear for my notes.
Don't do bench warrants. All right, Melissa, you pulled a rabbit out of a hat and you saved her from getting arrested again, and I'm glad we could resolve those. As I said, most of her issues come from her mental health issues rather than criminality.
Yeah.
And, all right, we're going to dismiss this file. All right.
Hey, well, I hear from Solomon. I'll let you guys know.
Thanks. Submit the waiver if you get it, and we'll go from there.
I will.
Thank you.
This is
You're welcome. Bye.
7-3. All right, Debbie, I think that finished our very long morning.
Still waiting on Mr. Berger, but they have a pretrial upstairs that was supposed to start at 11:30, so she was expecting him to show up to that.
If he shows up, he can just sign the waiver.
Well, I think virtually show up to it, so.
Well, he was here in the building, 50 feet away, and then he vanished. All right, well, we got a little extra bonus by taking care of 2 of Ms. Powers' cases. And July 2nd is going to be a very busy day. Please don't take any vacation that day. If I got to be here, you got to be here. All right. Oh,
at least that
Mr.
trial is
Cannon,
off, right? Did you decide to take that trial off from the 2nd?
that was a mistake. Yes.
Okay,
I
I
don't-
just wanted to let our witness know.
Well, let me make sure.
And we're still waiting for a circuit court status conference on that to package
No,
everything.
it's still on there. Didn't we send some emails that we weren't, that's an incorrect date?
I mean, I was begging for it a little bit to not be on that day with Super Friday pre-trials and.
Let me see. I thought I sent an email. Mr. Pontius has been charged, bench trial be adjourned. I thought I discussed the fact that was a mistake. Yes, you don't have to do any witnesses. I'm not clear how that got set on a Super Friday at 9 o'clock. Whether I did it.
So excited about having a trial again. I just.
Yeah, I want to do it on the busiest day of the summer, right in the middle of.
Oh, it's so
Plus, I
happy.
thought something was going to be resolved.
Well, and that's what he had, that new felony, so we just need a status conference date. And so I was gonna check on sessions to see if we have one yet. Or I can talk to Dave and Gary and just see if we can come up with an offer and not wait for a status conference.
Let me look at this again. Oh, I keep spelling his name wrong. Pontius.
Oh, he bonded back out though on the 1st, so no rush now. He's out, so I'm sure he's not worried about these dates.
Darn it, what am I doing wrong? I can't, he isn't coming up on my file search.
So he's got a status conference scheduled for the 8th of July. So if we could do sometime after that.
Which case is set for that day, the 22679?
Oh shoot, I just got out of it. For the 8th, it's his older one. The one that's set for status on the 8th is 21-23719. I don't know why they didn't set the other one, but maybe just because it just
Now,
got
you
down
did send me that email. What I'm trying to figure out is why it would have got set for that day.
Mysteries of the world.
It's just a mistake.
Did you see the email back from Jordan about Berger?
No.
he came back to the courthouse, but didn't log on for his NA hearing, and he left again. So she's not sure if he's coming back or not.
All right. I don't know what's going on with that case and why it got put at that terrible time. And, but I will endeavor to move it. I did, your earlier email was part of the file. If you send me another one, I'll
Send you an official request to move it. How about that?
all right, that's fine, thank you.
And I'll copy Laura. All right.
Well, here's LG Stylo 5X. That's might be Zachary Solomon.
Is it 11:59 yet? No. All right.
It's Mr. Berger.
Oh, well, I'll text Jordan.
Mr. Berger?
Yep.
Where are you, sir?
I used a phone and figured it out finally on how to use my own phone to get on Zoom.
Well, you were right here at the courthouse. We were going to transact your business while you were here, and you came and left, and your lawyer will be right back with us.
Oh, I thought that she told me that we was going to be back. The way I understood, I was supposed to be back at 11:30 to do it on the.
You were
Zoom.
supposed to be back at 11:30 in the other courtroom, but we had. Where are you now? Looks like you're at the dollar store or something.
No, I'm at home.
Oh, okay.
I had to walk home and my
Okay.
phone was, yeah.
All right. Well, here's your lawyer. We haven't shut everything down yet.
Am I in the
You
right
walked
courtroom?
Well, yes and no. You got another courtroom you need to be in, but let's take care of our business here first. This is file 211106FY, P versus Devon Carl Berger. Jordan Yancey has joined us here. Or is joining us. Mr. Berger has returned home and got his Zoom to work. Mr. Berger is charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer and escape lawful custody. It's my understanding he was going to waive preliminary examination in this matter and have the matter bound over to the circuit court. Is that your understanding, Jordan?
It is, Your Honor. We did meet over Zoom earlier this morning. I did explain the process of the waiver. There may have been some confusion that he needed to be present for that waiver. So if there was any confusion on that, I apologize. If he's still prepared, we can enter the waiver now and bind the matter over for circuit court for a resolution.
Yes.
All right, let me read you that language, Mr. Berger.
Yeah.
I, Von Carl Berger, understand I have a right to employ an attorney. I may request a court-appointed attorney if I'm financially unable to employ one. I have a right to a preliminary examination where it must be shown that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge me with the crime. I voluntarily waive my right to a preliminary examination and understand that I will be bound over to the circuit court on the charges in the complaint and warrant. Is that what you wish to do?
Oh, so the preliminary hearing is to
Determine whether there's probable cause to believe a crime was committed and probable cause that you did it.
Mr. Berger, we discussed this. I know.
Well, I didn't understand that the way he told me it makes sense better than what the way you put it. I thought it was all getting put in. I would prefer to have a preliminary exam to make sure.
I know, Mr. Berger, you raised some potential trial issues and we discussed those won't be addressed at a prelim. So if you still wish to have a prelim, I will put it on our docket.
We can also discuss your bond violation then today.
To what?
You alleged to have violated your bond and the prosecutor wants me to put you in jail. So I thought you were going to waive the prelim and just let it go upstairs. You haven't been a very good customer. You've come and gone and you're here and gone and you're back at home. I don't really mind if you want a prelim. It's okay with me, other than we just squandered some time, and that's all right. If you wish to waive the prelim and have the matter be bound over to the circuit court, we could do that now. You don't give up your right to have a trial or anything, but apparently if you do that, the prosecutor wants to discuss the allegation that you violated your bond.
How did I violate my bond?
I'm not sure what he'd do.
It's alleged that he had a weapon and pointed it or assaulted an individual with it. There's another pending charge that we're going to authorize. I was hoping to be able to discuss it with Ms. Yancey as part of a global resolution.
Well, we'll just wait till it happens. All right, do you want to waive this preliminary examination or have one next Tuesday at 1 o'clock?
Well, I'll waive the preliminary hearing and I'll go for the deal package and
All right.
we'll go from there.
Bond is set in the amount of $50,000, which is posted. Now, Jordan, does he still need to be in the court upstairs?
No, Your Honor. We simply requested an additional pretrial in the next couple weeks. So that hearing has already concluded. It was scheduled for 11:30.
All right, Mr. Berger. Thank you for your patience. I'll accept your waiver of preliminary examination. The matter will be bound over to circuit court, set for a status conference. There may be another charge out there in the works somewhere that I don't really know much about. And when it happens, if it happens, we'll deal with it at that time. But your bond is continued. I've accepted your waiver of preliminary examination. The matter's bound over to circuit court. All right, thank you, sir. You're good to go.
I have.
All right. It's not 11:59 yet, but I don't think someone's going to show up. Jordan, thank you for your patience. You waited all morning for like 1.5 cases.
That's all right.
That's abusive of your time. We didn't get to Mr. Heisma. At some point, I got to figure out what to do with him. So,
Your Honor, I could do a PV at 2 o'clock today if that works, or 2:30.
That's right when sobriety court starts. We may be able to do it. I don't know. I'll catch up with you later in the day, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Debbie, thank you for all your help.
Your Honor, glad we got them
yes.
all through so far.
Okay, we rolled the ball up the hill again and it'll roll back down tomorrow.
Yeah.